You know, as we've said on this program many times, no single snapshot that shows the difference between the two parties and the two men who would be president, then the programs that they prioritize and how they would pay for them. Now, it's lucky that I think that Mr. Ryan, whether you agree or not, has put a plan out that I think puts those two plans in stark contrast and also shows where their priorities are. Now, Ryan's budget plan is one that Mitt Romney wholeheartedly endorses, so you don't have to guess where he stands on it. There's two pictures here. The Ryan plan, it cuts, not just forget about freezes the top-end tax cuts, but it cuts them even further, and not just income taxes, but on taxes on everything from investment, and trust me, a lot more. It also actually increases defense spending, both of which have obviously, 101, add to the deficit. But Republicans say, hey, we got it covered here. We're going to, for whatever loss in revenue and whatever increased spending, we're going to find the savings here. We're going to take not a scalpel but an axe to the budget and go to work on it. And the Ryan plan cuts services, safety net, investments by the government here, and to stuff that, trust me, it's not cosmetic. You're going to feel these kind of things. They do programs that you can see right here on the screen, and trust me, this is a fraction of them. But among them, programs that keep people healthy, give them medical care, that keeps people fed, people on the very bottom end here, kids educated, roofs over people's heads, keep businesses in business, extend high tech to everybody, even programs that help us deal with, oh, I don't know, Mother Nature, weather, disasters, water, air clean, the basic stuff. Okay. So the Ryan plan says about the Republican Party's priorities, I think is clear. And the reaction from the president, here it is.
This is supposed to be about paying down our deficit? It's laughable. It is a Trojan horse. Disguised as deficit reduction plans, it is really an attempt to impose a radical vision on our country. It is thinly veiled social Darwinism. It is antithetical to our entire history as a land of opportunity and upward mobility for everybody who's willing to work for it.
Social Darwinism. Did he go too far, or was he right?
I think he's on point. Look, the Ryan budget, and it is a plan, the Ryan budget reflects a set of values that I don't think are consistent. Forget about Democrats, which are consistent with our history. What does it do? It says that a country that spends $800 billion on defense and security, that's more than every other country on the planet combined, that we should spend more on defense and security. It says that this great national project about balancing our budget, which is tough, that the very wealthiest people in this country shouldn't participate in that they shouldn't be asked to help out. But it also says, as you pointed out, that investments in education, in our bridges, in our environment, in our highways, that stuff should be hammered. That's not consistent with anything that this country has ever stood for. And by the way, on the tough stuff, on Medicare, look, he gets a lot of credit for proposing a plan to reform Medicare. It's a lazy plan, because what it does is, over time, and you can look this up, over time it shifts the cost of seniors' health care onto them. Now look, that solves the federal government's problem over time, but it creates a heck of a problem for those seniors. It doesn't deal with the underlying challenges of health care. So look, it just doesn't reflect the values, and it's a lazy plan because it shifts money around, burden around, and it doesn't deal with the problem.
And I'm no fan of it. We've done it on the show. But at least it's a plan. Don't Republicans have a point to say, okay, fine, throw darts all you want at our plan here. Where's yours?
Right, right. And they're actually fair. Now, they shouldn't be doing it because, you know, the other thing that the Ryan plan does is it says, oh, we're going to identify tax loopholes later to cut. Sorry, you don't get to say that and call your thing a plan. If it's a plan, it actually identifies specific loopholes you're going to cut. Here's what it does. And by the way, I voted against the Democratic budget in the House, so I'm not a big fan of either Ryan or the proposal that was made by the Democrats. A plan, of course, is the Simpson-Bowles plan, which, while not perfect, and everybody knows this was what the President's Debt Commission proposed, while not perfect, was a really good start to a balanced plan.
Bipartisan serious support. People. My question is, a lot of pain in that plan here, but at least it was shared. Why hasn't the administration, since they called for it, put their arms around it? And why haven't more Democrats like you said, you know what, this is going to hurt here, but this is what we need right now?
It's a great question. I get it every day. Why did the president not embrace the plan of his own deficit reduction committee? I have not had the opportunity to ask him that question, so here's a speculative thought. One, given the politics in Washington, D.C., I suspect that if he had done that, it would have instantly become anathema to the Republican Party. They would have said, the president likes it, it's off the table. And you know what? I don't like talking about anything that's in that plan because, as you point out, it's all pain. But it's actually a really good start. And I think he probably didn't want to do that. And I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to offer up a reform to Social Security until the other side showed its hands first. So maybe there was some politics in there too. But I wish personally that he had.
All right.